What did I see then you singing? What did I see then you swinging? That funny old tune will drive me to ruin. It came along and made me its slave. Now I'm craving things that I should crave. It came along and made me its slave. Now I'm craving things that I should crave.
Hello everyone, how are we doing? Yes, I know it's Friday, I'm sorry, I just wasn't thinking when I was typing. I fixed it now. If you refresh, it should say Sovereign Citizen Friday. I apologize. How's everyone doing? I hope you're having a good Friday. Let's see what I missed. We are on a hype train, 28% to level 2 on the boost train. Annie Kai, thanks for 17 months. Meru-sama, thanks for 29 months, says, "Yay, Friday, early Hannah, perfect to listen to while sewing. My birthday is on Sunday, happy almost birthday, and my friends have been really bad at keeping it a secret. They keep posting details in the wrong group chat and quickly deleting it." Lol, just pretending I don't see it. Cute. Gnome Pickles, thanks for 100 bits. First name Bunja Numbers, thanks for 6 months, says, "Another subiversary down. Time to celebrate by watching Gina dance for me." Anonymous, thanks for gifting a sub. I did do a patron, or not, I'm not a patron, I did a Discord post. Maybe you just didn't get a thing for it for some reason. But I added everyone. Speaking of which, by the way, Riverboat Jack is doing a stream later, to promote, like, midterms and stuff. I was going to be a part of it. Unfortunately, something came up, so I'm not going to be able to make it, but I really want you all to make it there if you can. We'll raid into there once we're done with stream today. Cream Cheese, happy birthday tomorrow. Stone Corbell, thanks for gifting a sub. Ashy Boo says, "You need to check this guy out. He enjoys eating only meat." I haven't seen this particular guy, but I've seen other only meat guys before. Very strange bunch. Stone Corbell, thanks for gifting a sub. 86% to level 2. How am I? I'm doing good. So, today we are looking at a brand new Sovereign Citizen. This is a defendant who has decided to defend himself in court, and it is going very badly. We are on day 10 of his trial. I believe he allegedly murdered some people or something, and he's trying to defend himself, and we have so many clips we're gonna watch. 86% to level 2 with a minute left on the hype. Sorry, I'm gonna turn a fan on. Not only do I have my bisexual pride D&D shirt on today, my nails match. Bumble Homestead says, if y'all could help maintain a democracy, I would appreciate it. Vote. Please, please go vote. No matter where you are in the country. I don't care if you don't feel like your vote matters. It does. It sends a signal. Please, for the love of God, vote. 97% to level 2. Accidentally showed feet. Enjoy that. Bumble Homestead with 200 bits says, train. Kierthin, thanks for 100 bits, says, I figured out how to turn closed captions on my phone so I can listen at work. Nice. Anonymous, thanks for gifting a sub, getting us over level 2. Glad you missed the accidental feat. Me too. 16, or 20, 60% to level 3. It keeps going up very slowly. Rageology says, belated congratulations. Thank you, yes. Did get married recently. It was a lot of fun. So I am officially married. Sorry, ladies and gents and non-binary folk. I'm off the market, okay? Altered Ran, thanks for 23 months, says, almost 2 years of Hannah putting up with me being a nuisance in chat. You're far from the worst. You know who the worst is. Overthought says, disregard if we've covered, we'll cover it, but here's Chili getting owned in court. Again. Man, that guy loses a lot. 86% to level 3 on the boost train. How could I do this to you? I know. Obviously, the parasocial what was I gonna say? Shit. Of course you had the parasocial expectation of marrying me. Which is funny, because that is kind of what happened with me and Baja. She was a fan, and she slid into my DMs. So, don't let your dreams be dreams. You too could perhaps marry a unknown Z-list Twitch streamer, and all your dreams will come true. Rageology says, after imploding the UK economy recently, UK Prime Minister just did a press conference where she looked so shell-shocked and lost that it is now doing the rounds.
Oh, Dr. Beckett finds him.
Hold on, I gotta see this. Quantum Leap jokes. You got me. You had me at Quantum Leap.
And so Dr. Beckett finds himself leaping from life to life, striving to put right what once went wrong, and hoping each time that his next leap will be the leap home.
Oh boy. That's good. 88% to level 3 on the boost train. The sooner we get through the boost train, the sooner we can get into the juicy, juicy Sovsit content. Where was the first video I wanted to watch? There was like an initial video about it. Yep, this is the first video where he basically gets rid of his lawyers. Okidad says, speaking of Quantum Leap, what happened to those people Ben leaps into? They explained that they're in sort of like a superposition, so they are there with Ben. Ben is just like in their body. This show has confirmed that the new show works by mind leap rules. He is in the bodies of the people he leaps into. So their minds are still in there. He's just in charge, basically. He's in control. Carney, thanks for 12 months. They don't get switched out because there's no waiting room anymore. They got rid of the waiting room in the new show. Works differently now. Which is interesting because they just did an episode where Ben, if you haven't seen the new Quantum Leap, by the way, check it out. It's on Peacock and NBC. If you liked the original show, you'll like this. The first couple episodes were a little rough, but like every episode since has been getting better, and it feels like classic Quantum Leap, just with higher budget and more quick pacing because it's a modern TV show. But I've enjoyed it a lot. In a recent episode, he was a boxer, and he had the strength of the boxer, so I'm wondering, if Ben leaps into, like, an elderly person, is he going to be super weak relative? I've not seen Halloween Ends yet. Tonight, late tonight, I might watch it. 13% to level 4. Sam Beckett should have taken out little Cheeto Hitler when he had the chance. There's an episode where Sam Beckett does meet child Donald Trump. You've been going through all the Hellraiser movies? They exist. The new Hellraiser is amazing, and it's the best one since the original. Genuinely. I love the new Hellraiser movie, and I want it to come out on Blu-ray so bad, even though it probably won't. Because it's on Hulu. Because they didn't release Prey either, which makes me mad. Gotta get a bootleg or something, which is never as fun. Like, companies, I want to pay you for your goods. Make a Blu-ray of it and I will give you my money and you will make a profit. Otherwise, I gotta go to, like, bootleg people and they'll get my money. Doesn't make sense. 13% to level 4 with 2 minutes left. Prey was awesome. That was really good. The new Pinhead actress is great. Prey was the best Predator movie. I don't know if it's the best, but, like, it's, I'd say, as good as the first one. Probably better than the second one. Speaking of which, there's the Blu-ray thing. I have a Blu-ray wish list. If anyone wants to support the show by getting me a Blu-ray, just click the link, search by, sort by, like... To be clear, this is the same wish list that I use to shop off of, so don't think that because there are really expensive things on there, I expect anyone to ever buy me anything, for one thing. I'm not owed anything. But if you did decide to do that, I don't expect you to buy expensive shit. That's the list I use. Sort by cheapest. Give me a $5 Blu-ray. Katie Cat says, Mew. K. Argos with 25 months. Thank you. 38% to level 4. Again, I keep saying this because no one has said they did it yet. But someone got me a Halloween collection, and another person, maybe the same person, but they were separate packages, got me Dexter the Complete Series from my list. So thank you for whoever did that. Meek says, your complaints about Blu-ray bootlegging in a nutshell.
Excuse me, sir. I do believe I would like to purchase one Game Boy game. It's no longer possible to make Nintendo eShop purchases for Wii U and 3DS. Don't pirate our games.
Beautiful. Alright. Thank you for the level 3 hype train, everyone. Looks like we can get into the Pro Se client. Accused Waukesha parade attacker. Not familiar with that. But anyway, he's going to try and defend himself, so let's check it out.
And that which I will bring to the state of the council.
Attorneys Anna Keats and Jeremy Perry.
Oh, I'm going to have to turn that up a bunch.
On behalf of Daryl Brooks, who's also present.
1 second. Let me turn this fan off and turn that up. I cooled down enough, I think. I'm cool. By the way, I don't know if you can tell, but my internet is fixed. Sorry for the choppy streams the past couple. I appreciate those who stuck in, but I understood people who couldn't. Works faster than ever now, so that's good. Dahlia Vianney says, no, I missed the hype train just barely. Oh well, gonna watch while I'm working the Starbucks drive-thru. Hope it's not too bad for you. Hope no one tries to sing for a TikTok or whatever people do.
Good afternoon.
And that which I will bring to the state of the council.
Attorneys Anna Keese and Jeremy Perry appear on behalf of Daryl Brooks, who's also present. Good afternoon.
If you only have
Right,
one,
good af-
if you only have one headphone in, it's much easier to hear this with two headphones. One of the channels is clearer than the other, and some of it's only picking up some of it. So.
Afternoon. We are here today to address the motion that was filed by attorneys Perry and Keys last week, the motion to withdraw. I do want to make a brief record that I met with the parties, the attorneys only at 12:30 today, just to go over what I would call some scheduling, housekeeping matters related to this case and the motion before the court. I don't believe I need to put any of the substance of that on the record unless there is a request from either of the parties. I do not intend to go over any of the substantive issues that are remaining in this case other than the motion to withdraw. That includes the various filings that the parties have made and any other open issues that we have at this time. I need to first address the issue with Mr. Brooks and the motion to withdraw. I do want to start out with you, Mr. Brooks, and ask you, is it your desire to represent yourself in this case?
It is. I would like to proceed in this matter prior persona, not pro se.
It's the same thing. He just wants to represent himself without a lawyer. Don't worry about the fact that he's trying to draw a distinction. He just wants to represent himself without a lawyer. Same thing. Dahlia Vianney says, our customers just yell at us all day. No TikToks. I don't know which is worse. Sorry. Simple Cat Girl says, God, I hate they don't allow any older games on Switch. I just want to play Tamagotchi Life on Switch.
Say that last part again.
I would like to proceed in this matter.
Oh, is
in pro per, not
se. Jessie. I like Jessie. That sucks. Her content got taken down for some stupid reason. Oh my god. Asinine.
You're gonna have to tell me what you think that means.
It is me exercising my right to defend myself, to represent myself as a sovereign citizen.
Oh no, you even said it.
So essentially this matter today would...
I do know, just as a precursor, I don't mean to foreshadow to you, but before this saga is done, he will pop his shirt off in court. So get ready for that shit.
Be me appearing by special appearance.
You have an absolute right to have an attorney represent you. It is protected not only by the Wisconsin Constitution, but the United States Constitution. Do you understand that?
I do understand my rights under the United States Constitution, yes.
Did you hear what I said?
Repeat it.
Do you understand that you have the right to have an attorney represent you, what we call the right to counsel?
Under the Sixth Amendment, correct?
Under the Sixth Amendment, the 14th Amendment, and the Wisconsin Constitution as well. It's a well-established right that a criminal defendant has. Do you understand that?
I'm aware, yes.
Do you also understand that you have the right to represent yourself?
I'm aware of that as well.
H-Beard says, got my bivalent booster last night and my arm is killing me. In lieu of spiked proteins, here are some bits.
I have before me a motion to withdraw by your attorneys.
These attorneys dodged a bullet.
The sole basis that is listed that you want to represent yourself. Is that your understanding as well?
That isn't entirely how the issue came about. I think it's important for that to be on record.
I'm not asking you to divulge attorney-client privileged information. Do you understand that?
So essentially, what's the question?
Oh my God.
Well, I want to make sure you understand you have these competing rights. It is recognized in our case law from the United States Supreme Court, the Wisconsin Supreme Court, that there are these competing rights: the right to counsel and the right to self-representation, essentially to be your own counsel. Do you understand these competing rights?
I am aware.
I think he's trying to do the thing where he doesn't say I understand.
Do you understand, sir,
Oh no! Is he gonna get into a whole thing about
that you
this?
can't have an attorney and exercise that right and also exercise the right of self-representation?
You could do standby counsel. I'm not disagreeing with the judge. I'm just saying there's the in terms of middle ground, standby counsel might be a good call for him.
I don't understand that.
So you started off this hearing by saying you want to exercise this right to appear in persona today and act as a sovereign citizen. Sir, my concern here today is there's a
What's he doing by not saying I understand? Sovereign citizens believe that when courts or cops ask you, do you understand? They don't think they're asking, do you comprehend what I just told you? They think they're sneakily trying to get you to sign a verbal contract. They think I understand means I stand under your authority. And if you say I understand, then all of a sudden you're in their jurisdiction. Of course, you're in their jurisdiction already because jurisdiction isn't about a contract you sign with the state. It's about being in the geographical location of the jurisdiction of the court and or cop. But they don't know that because they're dumb.
request from your attorneys to withdraw from this case. Do you understand that's the request before me today?
I'm aware that they filed a motion to withdraw, yes.
And are you aware, let me back up. Have you seen that motion, sir? The written motion?
I have seen it.
Did they give you a copy, the paper copy?
I believe it was delivered to me in the jail.
Right, do you have that in front of you today?
No, I do not.
Madam Clerk, why don't you print off a copy and we'll give it to him. Just that. Along with the court is providing another copy. Mr. Brooks, can you acknowledge for me that you have a written copy of the motion to withdraw now in front of you?
Yeah, this is a motion to withdraw.
Are you able to read that on your own, sir?
Yes.
Have you read it?
Take that as a no. K.R. Goss says, in case people don't know, he drove his SUV into a Christmas parade and killed 6 people. Wow, what a piece of shit. Allegedly, but also probably.
As of now, I have read.
Do you understand what's in that motion?
Yes, I'm aware of what's in the motion, yes.
He's definitely trying to not say understand. You could say, yes, I comprehend. I'm just saying, there are other... Someone get this man a thesaurus. Fuck Black's Law Dictionary. Thesaurus.
Is there anything about that motion you do not understand?
I'm aware of it.
My question is, do you understand?
I'm aware.
Do you understand what it says, sir?
Just say yes. Just say yes.
It's clear to me what it says.
All right. So let me start off again by asking you, do you wish to represent yourself in this case?
Do I think the judge knows the understand thing? I have no idea. It's possible, but... I don't know. I would guess maybe no. Because she's clearly trying to cajole him into saying I understand, because that's necessary for the record, because if he doesn't say I understand, then upon appeal, if he wanted to appeal the case, he could say I had inadequate representation because I never said I understood what all this meant. I don't think it would work, but they need to be as clear as possible on the record for appeals that he understood what he was getting himself into when he had his lawyers withdraw, basically.
Yes, I do.
Before, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I would like to represent myself pro per.
What does that mean to you, sir?
I think she has kids. She's patient.
Explain to me that request.
Again, because I've already said it on record, to represent myself as a sovereign citizen.
I'm not going to make a determination, sir, whether you're a sovereign citizen or not. It's not relevant to my determination how you characterize who you are, other than you are accused of 77 counts, which I will go through momentarily, and you have the right to have an attorney represent you. That's your constitutional right.
She so clearly wants to just tell this man, sir, do not represent yourself. You murdered a bunch of people and injured others. Please get a lawyer. I don't know if whatever state this in has the death penalty, but, like, get a lawyer.
Two very capable.
Like, even for people that I absolutely hate, right? Like, let's look at a civil case, just as an example. Alex Jones. Alex Jones is the biggest piece of shit, and I'm really glad he ended up having to pay like $1 billion in damages or whatever they ruled on recently. But also, I'm glad that he has the ability to have lawyers. He didn't listen to him, and that's his own fault. But even the shittiest piece of shits that I think are guilty deserve legal representation, because even with a guilty verdict, you want to make sure the process is done fairly, even for people that we don't like. Even for people who have committed terrible crimes, because you don't want to start on that slippery slope of like, well, this one's really guilty, so we'll just fudge some stuff, whatever. That starts creeping more and more into the general justice system. Having a lawyer is a good thing. This guy's a piece of shit, and probably deserves to go to jail for the rest of his life. I'm not in favor of the death penalty, personally. But he should get a lawyer. He needs a lawyer.
Attorneys that have been with you from the
Doesn't have the death penalty? Okay, yeah. Life in prison.
beginning. You understand that, right?
No, I do not understand that.
What don't you understand about that, sir?
I don't understand why is a reference being made to the capableness of my attorneys. Now, I agree that they have worked tirelessly on a lot of the things in this case. And I credit them with that. I'm appreciative of that.
Are you?
But it also should be said that there's a lot of things that I did not understand about the proceedings in a lot of the court cases. There were things that I didn't understand why there wasn't certain motions filed. There were a lot of things that I did not understand the totality of the meaning behind.
Basically, he's saying, I didn't understand what my lawyers are doing because I don't have a legal education, so my solution to that is to fire my lawyers so I can bumble my way through the system like Mr. Magoo. That's gonna go well. Meek says, the judge is a saint. If I was that judge, it'd be Snark City. And Auntie Pretzel says, howdy y'all, no more jury duty for me for 2 years. Chili here sounds like he needs to be sat down to be taught why his sovereign citizen stuff doesn't work. Here's hoping the verdict is fair if he did allegedly cause grievous injury to numerous people. Agreed. I would imagine his lawyers tried to explain to him. He probably just didn't listen.
And that is
because, like, as a lawyer, you're bound by your, like, and I understand not everyone takes oaths and everything, like, seriously. They don't take their job seriously, and that's unfortunate. But at least in theory, you're supposed to be a zealous advocate for your client, whatever that means, depending on the client. And in this case, being a zealous advocate would have been to try and explain as hard as you can to him, listen, I'll be a lot better off if I'm not your attorney, if I'm being honest. I don't want to defend you, but I would, because I'm an attorney, and you deserve a right to defense. But if you fire me, you are fucked way harder than you already are. Assuming he didn't listen.
It kind of led to a lot of issues, but these were issues that were being raised for a number of months. This was not just something that sprung up out of the blue. And I feel that as my attorneys, that it would be essentially their job to make me aware of things that I do not understand. So that's where a lot of the questions come into question as you.
So let me follow that up, sir. If I allow them to withdraw, you lose their legal experience, their specialized training, right? Their education, their work as attorneys. Do you understand that?
No, I did not understand.
So
fair, I believe him.
if you are allowed to represent yourself in this case, sir, you will not have attorneys assisting you. If I let them withdraw, they're gone from this case. Do you understand that?
I think I will probably be better served representing myself.
He was not. Whoo, boy. All right, let's get into... We're on day 10 of the trial now. So... let's see how he's doing! MH Darkbeast with 29 months says, wow, 29 months, worth every penny or Prime subscription. Got something funny for me? We'll take a look in a little bit. He's doing great.
All right, we are back on the record. Appearances are as they were before. I need to make a record that at 8:42 a.m. this court orders Mr. Brooks be removed from the courtroom due to repeated interruptions and disruption with the court. This, of course, comes on the recent history with Mr. Brooks. On every day that we have been in court since Monday, he has shown a complete and utter disrespect for the simple rules of civility. He has been removed from the courtroom multiple times.
Remember when he said he'd be better served not having attorneys? Here's some legal advice. Keep your shirt on in court. Auntie Pretzel says, if only you had a voice modifier thing for this to apply, boom, because bruh, with emphasis. Exhibit these abs. And shirtless man, everyone drink.
Times. This morning alone, he started interrupting this court within a minute of the court calling the case. I should also make a record at the moment he is muted because of the way that he was removed from the courtroom and his conduct since. I have been given just a bit of information about it. I will advise everyone that I have required that the Sheriff's Department file a written report with the court regarding Mr. Brooks's conduct.
What's he even thinking right now? Gnome Pickle says, if the abs are ripped, you must rip up the charges. Avant Gardener, what do you want me to wear for the hats off? Keirthin says, I can't even say I'm surprised. I've only been working at an attorney's office for a month, but there are some unhinged motherfuckers out there. Flower crown? Okay. I do like the flower crown. We're not even doing the MAGA thread. This was an unexpected shirtless man. Can't believe I have to take a shot at work.
I'm told that he would not sit down while in this courtroom in order to have the shackles removed so that he could be taken to the other courtroom, that he was resisting, that at one point he took off a shoe and it appeared to the deputies that he was going to throw the shoe. You can see that he is seated with his back to the court or to the camera. He took his shirt off as well. I'm also told that he is threatening to throw and break items. I want to give him headphones since he has claimed in the past to be hard of hearing in one ear, but given his statement that he would throw and break things, unless he can pledge to this court that he will not do that, I'm not going to provide that information. I will advise that the audio in that courtroom should be turned up accordingly so that it is louder than it has been. I've also been advised that the audio and visual equipment is working in that courtroom. The deputies that are in there can see and hear the court through the Polycom system. Today is
I like the guy in the corner just sipping coffee like, yep, I picked the right career. H-Baird says, took off a shoe. Sounds like went full Khrushchev. Never go full Khrushchev. Simple Cat Girl says, I just don't understand why sovereign citizens are trying to represent themselves on crimes, especially those of massive violence. Like my brother in Christ, the lawyers are there for you because they know how confusing the justice system is. I feel so bad for lawyers because they get such a bad rep and have to deal with these morons. And Rageology says, this judge is my new transition goals. Aw.
a little bit different in that there is no Zoom. And so, but this court, with the blessing of technology in this new building, have the ability to call in one room system to the other. That is why we're able to see and, when appropriately, hear him when unmuted. And then there are the 4 camera angles that are presently from this courtroom. I have the camera in the other courtroom on a single camera, since he's the only individual in there. This court has, in essence, extended this courtroom to the neighboring courtroom. While there is ample evidence in the record, not only through the proceedings up to this point, but this morning alone, that through his conduct, he has forfeited his right to be present. I'd also make a finding that he is appearing from that courtroom, and that because of the audio and visual equipment and system that we have in place, that it is the functional equivalent of being present in this courtroom. This court has relied repeatedly on—
It's so interesting how in legal, like, when you're making legal determinations like this, it's, you know, you have to cover your bases like you're doing legal writing. So she's basically setting just the foundation right now for the fact that she has the authority to treat where he is as if it is her own courtroom. It's just interesting that you have to be that thorough. I understand why, and I'm glad that that's how the legal system works. I'd rather they over-explain than under-explain, but it's just funny that you have to basically verbalize a whole paragraph and a half just to say, I'm in charge of that courtroom even though it's not in this building. Annie McKean, thanks for 5 months, says, what a way to start a weekend. And Okie Dad says, took his shirt off, left on the face mask, bold choice cotton. Let's see if it works out for him. I just watched Dodgeball.
Illinois versus Allen. I've read portions of that case into the record. I don't intend to go—
I feel like that meme is big, but no one actually talks about the movie Dodgeball. It's a funny enough early 2000s dumb comedy.
through that at length here today, other than to indicate that Trial judges that are confronted with disruptive, contemptuous, stubbornly defiant defendants must be given sufficient
Is he talking to, like, bailiffs or sheriffs in the courtroom or something? Because he looks like he's looking at someone at the back of the court, and he's definitely talking.
discretion to meet the circumstances of each case. No one formula exists for maintaining the appropriate courtroom atmosphere will be best in all situations. And in that case, there were at least 3 constitutionally permissible ways for a trial judge to handle a stubbornly defiant defendant, which this court would find Mr. Brooks squarely has become and has demonstrated over the course of these last few days. One option is to bind and gag him. I've already talked about at a previous hearing why I choose not to do that. Cite him for contempt. I choose not.
What happens? I honestly don't know the answer to this. What happens when you're representing yourself pro se and you basically just refuse to participate in court? Do they just have to do a mistrial and take away your right to be your own lawyer, basically? And then do a new trial? I don't know. Are there any lawyers in court? Or lawyers in court. Hear ye, hear ye. Where's my fucking gavel? Are there any lawyers in court today? No, is there any lawyers in chat? Like, what happens in this scenario? He clearly can't represent himself if he's refusing to deal with the process, so...
Not to do that.
There are definitely lawyers who show up in chat sometimes, so...
Either. The third is to take him out of the courtroom until he promises to conduct himself properly. Mr. Brooks today, of course, showed up in court from the jail in his jail attire.
That's interesting. Normally they... Is it the actual trial or is this still preliminary stuff? Because usually for, like, at least when they can, for court stuff, if someone is, like, in jail, you know, during the trial, and they have to come to court, they'll dress them up in a suit or something, because the jury, if there is a jury, might make adverse... They might look at someone in an orange jumpsuit, and their brain will go, this person's guilty, because they're wearing the prison thing. So, when they can, they dress people up and make sure that they have something to wear. He's not, though? I'm wondering why. Did he refuse to get changed? Did they just not care?
Does that by his choice.
Oh, he does that by his choice. Okay. He refused to get changed.
I gave him the opportunity.
No, I'm right-handed. The gavel was just to the left of me. Hello.
Can you mute that for a second?
One sec.
To go back to the jail to put on his suit and tie or other street clothes. He refused to answer that question. This court will continue with this trial, as I have previously indicated. There are many resources that have been put into bringing this day to bear, and it is important for all involved that this trial continue. Again, Mr. Brooks is given the opportunity to appear from that other courtroom. At this point, I'm still in the final housekeeping matters, and so he clearly has forfeited his right to be present for that. I will advise Mr. Brooks, as I have advised him repeatedly, if at any point in time he wants to come back and he is willing to promise that he will abide by the rules of courtesy and decorum and be civil and show respect for the court proceedings for all individuals in this courtroom, including Mr. Brooks himself, then he may come back in. It's also my intention to give him that opportunity at each new stage. But again, we are in the preliminary stage prior to the jury being brought in. I would note it's a little after 9:06 a.m.
Jesus Christ. Hold on. We had some more clips. Like the...
jail cell.
This is, I believe, the altercation, or was this again? He got kicked out a lot. Let's see.
Yes, ma'am. To the best of my knowledge.
Okay.
Is he
I
still
object
able?
to that, Your Honor. I'm not allowed
Sir,
to
her
keep.
answer stands. There's no question to which to
I
object.
object to that. There is.
You can't testify at the moment. If you want to provide further
Oh, we have longer segments. I just wanted to show some highlights real quick.
information after she is done testifying, I will give you that opportunity.
Will she?
Your
will she be able
objection
to-
is
Will
overruled.
she be able to stay right there so I can ask the question?
It's not your time yet. You have to wait. So this is the final warning. Okay, I've given you a lot of leeway today.
You have not, Your Honor. You haven't. No.
I
you
am
haven't.
turning to Attorney
What did I think of the She-Hulk ending? Even with me thinking Daredevil is lame, I still loved it. See, I liked that version of Daredevil just because it's been years. I could see him being more confident and comfortable with himself. We'll see how his show is. Like, I don't want him to be just happy-go-lucky, but it's a She-Hulk show. When Daredevil shows up in She-Hulk, he is more lighthearted than he is in his own comics, so that makes sense to me. I enjoyed the She-Hulk ending. I thought it was fun. I enjoyed She-Hulk as a whole. I don't know if that's a majority opinion or the minority opinion, but I liked it. I thought it was cute.
It is her opportunity, her turn.
Also, Werewolf by Night was rad. I stan man thing.
To ask this witness a question.
And it is my right to be able to object just like she objected
And-
when I was asking
Right,
questions.
and when the court rules on an objection, usually the party who objects stays silent. I rule on the objection. The parties don't debate the ruling. It's noted for appeal. And then we move on.
Then I would like to put you on notice that I will be appealing that
I'm gonna put you on notice, Judge. Kirthan, thanks for gifting a sub to Baha. My wife.
judicial decision that you are making.
Next question, Attorney Otto.
The judicial determination.
Ms.
that you
Molenhop.
are making.
While on COVID protocol, does Mr. Brooks have access to the tablets in his jail cell?
Yes, ma'am.
And that tablet has legal materials available for him to access if he so chooses. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And while he is on COVID protocol, does he have access to the conference room, which also contains a computer with further legal materials?
Yes, ma'am.
And nothing about the protocol would restrict his access to any of those materials. Is that correct?
Correct, ma'am.
And you've
I object to
indicated
that. I
previously.
object to that respectfully, Your Honor.
So, an objection goes to whether there's lots of rules of evidence that apply.
You would need to say objection, whatever your objection is. Like, if it was like a leading question, or if it was like, I don't know. I don't know all the different like rules and stuff. I'm not a lawyer, but basically you would have to cite why you are objecting. You can't just say objection. It's not Phoenix Wright. This is real life. Objection. Okay, objection to what? What are you objecting for? It's devastating to my case.
But if you're objecting to her answer, that's a different thing. You can argue the meaning of that
the
later.
question.
Okay,
not
the
the
objection.
answer.
But then you have to say objection before she answers. You
She
objected
didn't
after
answer.
she
She
answered.
didn't answer the last
The
question.
objection,
First name bunch of numbers says, quick question. How many times have you and Baha already done the Borat voice? My wife. Oh, she hates that I do that. I do that. I do that. She doesn't like it.
is noted, it's overruled, her answer may stand. Next question.
Ms. Wollenhop, you're aware that there has been digital discovery made available to Mr. Brooks for him to view in the Waukesha County Jail, correct?
I respectfully object to that.
Overruled, she may answer.
Correct. He would view that digital discovery on the computer in the conference room in his pod,
I
correct?
respectfully object to that.
Overruled, she may answer.
Correct, ma'am. And
So you're gonna
the
overrule everything, Your Honor?
Oh, fuck! No, sir! Oh, God!
All right, Mr. Brooks, you have got to stop. It's fine if you object. I will rule on it as I deem appropriate under the rules of evidence, which, by the way, I provided a copy for you. See that big book over there?
No, I don't
It
see
has
it.
the criminal statutes.
I don't see it.
It has the traffic code. It
I
has the
don't see
rules
it.
of evidence. Well, it's on your table. It's behind the microphone, and it's there. I've provided it to you as a courtesy so that you have that available to you.
You did not provide anything to me.
All right, I'm
Something
directing the
that-
bailiffs to
something
remove
that
them
may
to the
have-
other.
Radiology says, you can't say objection. This is real life. Objection. This can't be real life. I don't want this to be real life.
Their courtroom.
Something
I've
that-
provided ample
Now, this is a different time he got kicked out.
opportunity
I've
for
never-
Mr.
I've
Brooks
never
to
taken
abide by the
anything-
simple
I've
rules
never
of
taken
decorum
anything,
and
Your Honor.
civility.
Your Honor, I don't
He is-
consent or agree to what you are doing.
Your lack of
don't give
consent is
consent.
noted for the
I
record.
don't give consent to an estoppel. I don't
I'll
give
make a
consent.
more full record when we
I
are
don't give
open
consent
again to
an
the public.
estoppel. I don't give consent to be removed.
Madam Reporter,
being
the
able
record
to
should
exercise
reflect
my
the court is
constitutional
stepping
right.
off the bench. You may step off.
I
if you
move.
want.
I move for a
Just walking away. Overthought says, you know what judges love? Being argued with like they're stupid during the trial. Oh, it's their favorite.
motion to dismiss. You still haven't even ruled on the claim. There's no one that even has a claim against me.
Cut his mic. Okay, I think they did. It's like it's not funny, but it is absolutely fucking funny. It's so bad. Alright. Here's a long rant. This is when he was still wearing a suit to court. I guess he stopped deciding to do that at some point.
Don't consent to being called by the name that this court chooses to identify me by. I want to state for the record that I'm here as a third-party intervener on special appearance on behalf of my client. Can that be noted for the record?
Your client is you. You're your client.
It was noted this morning.
May it be noted again for the record so that we can keep the record clear and accurate.
Sure.
The appearances are as they were this morning. They are no different. Bring the jury up.
And we have yet to address subject matter jurisdiction, Your Honor.
Oh no! Subject matter jurisdiction!
I still haven't been shown any verified proof that
All rise.
this court has subject matter jurisdiction. And at this point, may I request an affidavit that you, Your Honor, have no bias, no conflict of
You can request it. Request denied.
interest and no interest in the outcome of this case?
Mr. Brooks, the jury's coming out. We'll address your legal issues later, if I deem them appropriate.
Judge, do you hold the full
Mr.
judicial
Brooks,
power of the
please,
state, or is
please.
You're laying on my phone, baby. Thank you.
the military
All right,
power?
Can you please take the jury out? Thank you.
This poor jury.
Do you hold the full
Mr. Brooks, just
jurisdiction?
wait till the jury's out, please. I ask that you show that respect.
I will.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Oh, don't sit on it. Don't sit on the keyboard. This is lupine, yes. Oh, can you hear the purrs? She likes to rub against the microphone. If they think something is a toy to us, they love it. So, like, she thinks I sit in front of this microphone and, I don't know, just stare at it for 3 or 4 hours a day. So she likes to rub all up on the microphone, because if I like the toy, it must be a great toy. Same with my phone, because, you know, play on my phone, she likes to rub up on it. It's hers. She does it for my tablet, too. Basically anything I hold or sit in front of for any extended period of time. She also seems to really like my Blu-ray collection. Don't know why. I think she can tell I like it because I sit and organize it and I move them around and I look at them. So she likes those too, and whenever I get new Blu-rays and sit down to organize them, she sits down with me and like rubs on the Blu-rays. It's very cute. Oh, it's definitely a scent thing. I understand that it's like cats marking things with their scent. I just think it's cute.
Everyone else can be, you all can be seated. Mr. Brooks, just make your statements. What do you want to advise the court today?
I want to
She's so done.
first state again for the record that I do not identify by that
Like,
name,
look at
nor do I
her.
consent to being called that name. Your Honor, with all respect, I'm merely asking you, do you have the full judicial power of the state, or is this military power?
I'm sorry?
Is
I
it?
don't understand what you're asking me, sir.
He's asking if this is an admiralty courtroom, because he's an idiot.
asking, is
And on what
this,
legal basis are you making that request?
I'm asking, for the record, is this a common law court or an admiralty court?
Yep, called it. Can I just be hired by courts to interpret things for sovereign citizens? Like, they'll say something, and then I'll stand in the well somewhere off to the side, and I'll kind of say to the judge, this is what he thinks this means.
What are we in here?
$50 an hour.
And I'm
Or best offer.
requesting an affidavit that you, Your Honor, have no bias, no conflict of interest, or no interest in the outcome of this case. And the reason why I want to state this clearly for the record, mainly is because of the bias that's been shown. I have not been getting any certified copies of any requests that I've made, which
Have you made the requests properly? I'm guessing you haven't. That's why you have lawyers. Auntie Pretzel says if they did that, sovereign citizen cases would go by a lot faster. That's what I'm saying. I'm worth every penny.
was told by this court to address inmate communication forms for anything that I may need. I've done that. I've complied with that. Every time I've needed something of the court pertaining to documents, I've done it the way the court has asked me. And I've always stated that I wanted everything to be certified. I have yet to even get that. My court docket sheet was not a certified copy. When I asked Your Honor of your oath of office, I asked for that to be certified. You stated for the record that you would not give me a certified copy of your oath of office, which
H-Baird says, I knew I'd seen this before. Okay.
Just one moment.
Okay, I'll play this clip. This is worth it. This is one of my favorite King of the Hill things.
Mr. Grubble, remove your
And I
hat
like King of the Hill.
in my courtroom.
I do not recognize the authority of a court that hangs the gold-fringed flag. A flag with gilded edges is the flag of an admiralty court. An admiralty court signifies a naval court-martial. I cannot be court-martialed twice. That is all. Furthermore...
Bailiff, gag him.
Ah.
The House of Commons.
Oh God, what was this?
I am deeply grateful for the addresses of condolence by the House of Lords and the House of Commons, which so touchingly encompass what our late sovereign, my beloved mother, the Queen, meant to us all. But I'd like to make one thing straight. Charlie's in fucking charge now, and shit's about to get fucking real. As I stand before you today, I'd like to address some of the tyrannical shit I'm going to do as king. First off, America, we're taking you back. You cunts have been free for far too long. I will not have it. Australia, you're going to become a massive fuck-off prison again. Fuck you, cunts. India, you're safe. We don't really want you back anyway. Also, I'm bringing that thing back where, like, the king gets to fuck your wife the day you get married.
Prima
if he wants to.
nocta.
That was a cool rule. Anyway, cunts, adios. I'm out of here.
Prima nocta wasn't real, by the way. At least I don't think so. Became a joke for some reason.
You are required to show.
Gnome Pickle says, I'm having a software conflict because listening to this guy makes me want to bang my head into a wall, but watching the kitty makes me so happy.
If I ask for it, I've brought up my Sixth Amendment constitutional right. That
You have a right to defend yourself, or you have a right to a lawyer, but, like, that doesn't mean you have a right to win? That's not how this works. You have a right to be your lawyer. You don't have the right to be successful at being your lawyer.
has been pretty much discarded, and that is based on the fact that I have the right to face my accuser, which would be the plaintiff, state of Wisconsin, in this matter. They have yet to show that a claim is I mean,
the bailiff behind him or whoever, just look at his face. He's so sick of this.
a living human being can only make a claim. An entity cannot make a claim.
No, that's untrue. The state absolutely can bring cases against you. It's how a lot of things work.
I've requested for the complaint to be provided. The complaint from November 23 of 2021. The amended complaint from November 29th of 2021. The second amended complaint from January 12 of this year, 2022. I have yet to see those. There was no record of a bond in my docket sheet. I asked for that to be verified by proof. That hasn't been provided. There's so many biases.
Moira Soma says, I'm sure others have told you, but that new router is a blessing. Wednesday's stream was rough as hell, and I had problems watching this stream for a long time as it kept, and have had problems watching the stream for a long time as it kept hiccuping repeatedly and unsyncing. Very happy to be watching now. Yeah, the new router is, I think it feels even faster than or rather modem. It's a new modem. Feels faster than even when the old one worked, so that's nice.
Clear biases in questions that are not being asked based on judicial determinations made by Your Honor.
Adios, Lou. Thanks for stopping by.
You look at the discrepancies, and I think they're clear. I think at minimum I deserve for the subject matter jurisdiction to be verified and proven. I've raised that issue numerous times, pretty much every day, every time I come before your court, Your Honor. I address that, and it has yet to be proven. My filings have been disregarded, even though they've been filed into the record, even though they've been time-stamped. I haven't got the original copies of any of them, which I'm supposed to get. And as we sit here today, I'm still not even understanding the nature and cause of the charges. That hasn't even been proven. Can that be provided in any way?
He's just throwing everything at the wall. First name bunch of numbers says, if only a living human being can make a claim, wouldn't that mean murder is de facto legal because there's nobody alive to make the complaint? I'm always wondering how the hell these people expect the world to work. They don't think about it in any context outside of their current situation. Because it's like, it's defensive mentally to them. It's like they're trying to come up with some way, any way to get away with this, even though of course they're not. Somewhere in this guy's brain, and it's wild as it is to think about this, somewhere in this guy's brain, he genuinely believes that what is going to happen is he's going to defend himself for 6 murders, and I don't even know how many counts of, like, injuring others or whatever with the vehicle. He thinks he's going to get out of this by just being his own lawyer and saying, I don't consent. And he thinks he's going to walk out. And I don't know how you combine that with a stable worldview of how the world works, how does he think anything works? Like, does he think Charles Manson just had to say, I don't consent to get out of it? Or Jeffrey Dahmer? Like, how does this work in his head? Hydrate. Gnome Pickles says, they insist on treating me like I've been accused of a crime and am not following the legal rules that I refuse to follow because I think I know more than the people who have studied law professionally for decades. And Okie Dad says, nothing works. That's how it works.
I'm basically sitting here confused because I don't understand why these proceedings are allowed to continue when there's so many things that have not been provided. They haven't been provided in my discovery. They haven't been provided to me by being brought to my pod where I'm housed in the jail. I'm without so much information, valid information to this matter. And I believe that it should be verified and it should be proven for the record. And if not, I move for this case to be dismissed for failure to appear by the plaintiff and failure to state a claim for which relief can be granted. Everything that I'm saying, it has merit and it has validity. As we see here today, I'm still being charged with charges that shouldn't even exist based on the testimony that we've heard for the last few days.
Even if that was true, that's the point of testimony? Like, if you think that the testimony is saying that you're not guilty, I doubt that's the case, but let's say it is, wouldn't that be what you'd want?
There's so many things left to still be proven. The prosecution team hasn't even proven that they're licensed to practice law in Wisconsin.
I think the court checked.
They haven't proven, are they just bar association members, or
are they just crazy people rambling about the law they know nothing about? Can you imagine what that would be like?
Do they have state issued licenses? That has not been proven, which I've raised that issue for the record. I'm not even sure if that was even recorded in the docket sheet. There's so many things, and Your Honor, you still haven't stated for the record if you have full judicial power of the state, or is this military power?
It's not the military, sir.
That hasn't been proven. Nothing has been proven. Not subject matter jurisdiction, not licenses to practice law. My Sixth Amendment right has been basically trampled over. No complaints have been shown. Neither of the three that I've requested, by the way that you told me to request them by inmate communication. Nothing is certified that I get copies of when I clearly asked for them to be certified and to be filed into the record. It's to the point where Your Honor, you should recuse yourself from the presiding.
Why? The Cult Comic says nothing is true, everything is permitted. Legal experts. You should recuse yourself because you're not finding in my favor so far.
At this point, if you're not going to abide by the oath that you swore, which was in your oath.
Hats off, Anti-Pretzel. What would you like me to wear?
Correct. You swore.
Foil crown. Cool. I wondered if people remembered I had that now. The little tin foil crown thing.
To protect.
I love Halloween season.
The Constitution of the United States. You swore to protect we the people. That is not being done here. If every valid argument that I raised is taken by the court as a sign of disrespect or a sign of...
Your points aren't valid. You don't get to be the arbiter of that. The judge does.
Trying to...
And if you disagree with the judge, then you can appeal it.
Intentionally be disruptive or causing a problem when I'm merely seeking understanding, because I don't understand. I'm merely seeking to understand why this information has yet to be provided and we're this far into this matter. And there's still no verified proof. Even as I sit now saying this, there's still no proof being provided. Zero. How is this case allowed to continue without these documents and filings being verified?
They're verified. They're fine. I assure you, the court is doing this. If they weren't, you could appeal it. It's fine. The court has jurisdiction over you, sir.
Is there any...
You know why? You're in their prison, or in their jail, I guess.
Legal, factual basis that can state why this information has not been provided? Why the docket sheet is incorrect? Why there's so much on the docket sheet that should be on record that's not even in there? That if we had the recordings of the record, they would see was brought up numerous times that doesn't even show up. I'm just asking for Your Honor to be fair, which is another right that I have, the right to a fair trial and the right to an impartial jury. I can go on and on and on about what's not being done. I have, again, I say I have the right to face my accuser. Where's the injured party? Who's making the claim?
Who's the injured party? You killed 6 people, allegedly.
I
don't know why I'm even saying allegedly here. Oh no, his crack legal team is gonna hunt me down and sue me for defamation.
Your Honor, numerous times for Your Honor's name, you wouldn't answer. I asked, did you have a claim against me? You did not answer. I asked the whole courtroom, did anyone have a claim against me? No one said anything.
No one said anything. I'd imagine some people said some stuff. Gnome Pickle says, well, the necromancer is on break, so we haven't had a chance to resurrect the people who were murdered.
Which you stated for the record, a non-responsive answer. A non-responsive answer is an agreement, which will be a tactic agreement by you, Your Honor, that you don't have to answer these questions that you should be answering. I have that right. The plaintiff in this matter, which was stated by witnesses in testimony to be the state of Wisconsin. But when I asked, do they see the state of Wisconsin present in the courtroom?
I see the representatives of them in the prosecution. So yes.
The question is shut down, which is a valid question. The plaintiff,
it's not.
Should be present in this.
The representatives of the plaintiff, of the prosecution, actually, this is a criminal matter. They're literally sitting to the left of you. Probably. Are they in the same courtroom now? I know there was some video teleconferencing going on earlier. Either way, the prosecution are representing the state. Okie Dad says, failure to answer is agreement. Dude, he's never heard of consent, apparently.
This matter. Where is the plaintiff? Who's bringing the claim? Because we know an entity can't bring a claim.
False.
It has to be a living, breathing human being. No one is stated for the record.
How does he think companies ever sue anyone?
Record if they're the injured party. Not Your Honor, not the prosecutors, not anyone in the court has stated to be an injured party in this matter. No one. Not one person. I have the right to demand that the court place in the evidence any unrevealed contract.
Great. Meek says, for some reason I want to see a debate bro sovereign citizen. Like, imagine Destiny trying to do this shit. That'd be a debate I'd do against some sort of debate bro sovereign citizen. I don't normally like debates, but that'd be funny.
Has that been provided to me? Have that been placed in the evidence? I would like to see it, which is my right. I have the right to inform the jury about the truth and their duty and their rights. That's the First Amendment and the Sixth Amendment. But I'm repeatedly told to shut the question down when this is valuable information that the jury should
Procedures of
be
the court.
privileged to know. They deserve to know.
Procedures of the court aren't like a First Amendment issue in that sense. Like, telling you that you're not supposed to talk at this time in court isn't a First Amendment issue. It's court procedure.
Once they were chosen to sit on this jury, why are we keeping information away from them that they deserve to know? They ultimately have the power. They decide the matter. Why are we keeping information, valuable information, from their knowledge? That's a disservice to the jury. And frankly, it's a disservice to the court that they're not allowed to hear things that they should know, that they should be informed of. It's our right to inform them of everything that they have the power to know, to do, and to know. They deserve that much.
Occult Comics with 100 bits says, I see he's using the Jonesian defense of the people who were murdered do not exist. Therefore, I'm not legally responsible for anything said of them or from me about them. Are they here to say I murdered them? Seriously disgusting and deranged. It is.
It would be a travesty for them to make a decision without being fully informed. And these are all valid things. I have the right to protest and object if any of my rights or demands are not being met.
You have a right to object. You don't have the right to have your objection upheld.
Done that numerous times only to be shut down. Numerous times. I've raised the issues that I didn't consent to anything that may have been suggested on behalf of my former attorneys. I've never even consented to them making a plea on my behalf. I haven't, as a matter of fact, when it comes to a plea, I haven't even had the opportunity to entertain any plea that may have been suggested by the prosecution.
I think any plea deal probably went out the window the second you decided to represent yourself. At this point, it's just a waiting game, basically, for the prosecution. This is an easy win for them.
We haven't even talked about that.
Like, at this point, why would you give this guy a plea deal? He's clearly not remorseful for anything he did. He's being obstinate. He's making an ass of himself and the courtroom. It's just stupid.
Not one time was it ever brought to my attention that the prosecution even wanted to offer a plea. That's another issue. I have the right to challenge the jurisdiction of this court, which I've done numerous times.
And it never works. Yeah, you have the right to do it, but once it fails, you don't have to keep asking. It failed. It's not going to work more the second time. Go play Far Cry 3.
I have the right to demand that the code be construed in harmony with the common law. I just raised that. I'm constantly referred to as pro se when I've raised the issue that I'm pro per. I have the right to conduct my defense pro per, free from professional restrictions imposed upon licensed attorneys, which this court is well aware that I am not a licensed attorney.
Yeah.
In fact, the court is also aware that I only had 3 days to prepare for a trial.
That was your choice. That was your choice. We gave you lawyers who had spent years in school preparing for this, and you chose to represent yourself. It's not the court's fault you had 3 days. That wasn't their first choice, I assure you.
That the prosecution has been prepared for a whole year. We see these boxes right here. This box alone is 45 or 50 pounds full of so much information. I haven't even gone through half of it. It was stated for the record that the discovery, in its entirety, was brung to my housing unit on the 29th of September, which trial was scheduled, that would be a Thursday, which trial was scheduled for Monday. How can I possibly go through all that?
Yeah, your lawyers probably would have had paralegals to help go through that kind of stuff. Occult Comics says, okay, estrogen is a hell of a drug because this almost made me cry. What is transition? What is trans? Am I simply doomed to be hot and cry? I mean, I was already there, but god damned it, it'll just keep happening more hot, more cry. Ah, a beautiful curse.
Hey, big guy. We did it.
This made you cry?
The job's finished. I need you to turn this bird around, okay? We can't track you in stealth mode.
Oh, and he would play the Hulk theme. Oh.
All the paperwork, all the digital discovery and things of that nature. How can I go through all of that and be prepared in 3 days?
Estrogen fucking slaps.
That's a clear bias. I did not have time to prepare for this. Everything I'm doing is off the top of my head, winging it, taking it as it comes. When the court is well aware that I was not prepared, I raised the issue that it should be an adjournment, at least. At the minimum, it should be an adjournment because of that fact. At least to let me go through all the discovery. That was denied. No valid reason was stated for that when Your Honor knew there is no possible way, humanly possible, that I could be ready for a trial of this magnitude in 3 days. That's clear bias. I have the right to face the injured party claiming damages. That's under Article 3 and the 6th Amendment. I raised that issue again. Where's the injured party? Is the injured party present in court right now? Can anyone make a claim against me? Can you make a claim against me, Your Honor? Do you know of anyone that can make a claim against me, Your Honor? Can anyone right now in court, anyone, make a claim?
Radiology says, estrogen slaps, and so do my titties now. Same.
Claim against me.
The best thing is I'm losing weight, but my boobs and butt keep getting bigger.
And because of that, Your Honor, the motion to dismiss should be granted based on that alone. There's no injured party in this matter. So who makes the claim? Who? I have the right to put the judge on notice of my intent to appeal and any ruling decisions during the case. You stated for the record that I would have to wait until appealing process, but my right is that I can raise that issue during the case, which I've attempted to do.
Okay, he just rants for like 30 more
Verify
minutes.
what I was saying.
So I'm gonna skip to another video. Let's find something more interesting. Is this before he popped his shirt off? This might be.
Well aware. Stop
respectfully,
talking.
which I have the right to do.
I'm well aware, Mr. Brooks, that you object to the name that has
disruption.
identified on the information and all documents in this case. Your objection is noted. It does not need to be repeated. I will make a record right now. The court notes a continuing objection by Mr. Brooks of his name and that he objects to being here. I know he's filed a number of documents previously related to that.
Oh yeah, this is the same dude. We've been covering the same dude all day.
Documents are of record. There's another document that's filed. At least 2 more interruptions just now. I believe I'm up to 8. Mr. Brooks, you're advised that continued interruptions will result in you forfeiting your right to be present in this courtroom, where you'll be taken to the courtroom next door to appear by video and audio means to participate.
Being removed from the courtroom, Your Honor.
That's another interruption.
And you haven't shown me any lawful case law that
This isn't even the time he popped his shirt off because he's in the same courtroom.
I can be removed from the court
Mr. Brooks?
proceedings in a trial and forced under coercion and duress to appear in the trial that I am needed that I've tried to express that I have the right
Mr.
to be
Brooks, there's a
present for.
proper manner in which you raise objections. You have not followed that proper procedure. You are unable or unwilling to abide by simple rules of civility.
You haven't
You
given me the
interrupt,
chance to
you don't wait for
state my
anyone
name.
to finish, and it will result with you being removed from the courtroom. So
respectfully
you are
object to that,
once
Your
again reminded of that. I'm going to give a little slack at the moment only because we are not in the presence of the jury. I'd like to go through a couple of things, the first of which is the jail attire. Mr. Brooks, we, meaning myself and the jail, have made arrangements by allowing folks to bring in street clothing for you. You've appeared previously in a suit and tie, very appropriate for a trial. If you no longer have those clothes available, the jail has a supply of clothes that they can also lend to an inmate. The reason we make those arrangements during trial, sir, is because this court has taken a number of steps to shield from this jury that you are in custody. Your hands are not shackled. Okay, there are skirts around each one of the tables. I'm aware of the feet shackles. That's yet another interruption.
H. Baird says, I wonder if he would be this obnoxious if the judge were a man. Probably. I honestly don't necessarily think this is a sexist thing. He's just a piece of shit. He murdered 6 people. Like, I'm not saying he's not sexist. I just think he'd be as shitty no matter what.
I'm aware of the shackles on your feet, and that's why the skirts are on your table and, frankly, all of the tables, right? So that it appears to be the same for anyone coming in and viewing. Again, arrangements have been made for you to appear in street clothes or civilian clothes. I would like you to appear in street clothes, and the reason why, sir, is to reduce or even eliminate even the appearance that you are in custody. And it is your choice, though. Are you willing to go back to your cell and put on your suit?
It is my right to do so or to not do so. And at this point, Your Honor, who doesn't know that I'm in custody?
Mr. Brooks, I've had many trials with individuals who were in custody, and when I've talked to the jurors after the conclusion of the case, they had no idea. The whole point of allowing for street clothing is not only to shield jurors from the fact that you are in custody, but also you being in a suit and a tie or other street clothing, I think also lends to the dignity of the proceedings. This is a trial.
She is being so patient with this man. Like, she's trying. She really is.
Again.
And I don't know how much of this is her making sure, like, all the bases are covered, so if he tries to appeal or whatever, that it goes nowhere, because she'll say, hey, I explained this all to him. I don't know. But either way, she's very, very good at her job, and I respect it a lot. Most people, even most judges, I don't think would have the patience to deal with this. That plus the firmness she is willing to dole out when it does get to that point, when she is willing to remove him from the courtroom. She's really, really good.
It is your choice. Are you willing to go back to your cell and be dressed in the street clothes that you previously appeared in?
With all due respect,
I doubt this is going to be respectful.
I do not agree with that assessment. There's no possible way that
Have you considered, Your Honor, that I disagree?
Anybody will not know that I am in custody. I think that's a well-known fact because it's reported on every day in the media. It's shown every day on the news where I am, what jail I'm housed in, and that I'm in custody. It's virtually impossible for anybody to not know that I'm in custody.
Mr. Brooks, did you hear the question that I asked you?
And I respectfully keep the position that I just put on the record.
Mr. Brooks, I will ask you again. Are you willing to go back to your cell or into the jail?
The freak out he's going to have when he's found guilty is going to be just monumental.
And put on street clothes.
I do not consent or agree to anything that you just stated, Your Honor.
All right, he did not provide an answer to a very direct question. Let the record be very clear that Mr. Brooks was given multiple opportunities to answer that question. And go back, Mr. Brooks, that's yet another interruption. I will advise you, sir, that at any point in time, if you wish to put street clothes on, I would give you that opportunity to do so. You've already heard it is my preference. You've already heard me advise you regarding the steps that have been taken to shield the fact that you are in custody from the jurors. You refuse to answer my question about whether you would go back to the jail. That's another interruption. So based on his...
Katie Cat says, why do these people think any of this stuff will work? Even if they genuinely believe this is how the law works, surely they realize nobody involved in this process agrees with them. Desperate people believe crazy things.
Refusal and his choice to come, that's another interruption. Based upon his failure to answer my question directly, I will take that as a non-response, but he came to court here today. That's another interruption. I will take that because he's come to court here today in his jail attire, that is a choice that he has made freely, voluntarily and intelligently. No one has forced him to come to jail in those clothes. This court is encouraging him not to. He's appeared previously in his street clothes in what I would describe as a very nice suit and tie, but it is his choice to not do that, and we will proceed accordingly.
So while we're on the record, may I challenge the subject matter jurisdiction?
No, you may not, sir. You need to file a motion in order to do that.
So
Mr.
the
Brooks?
motions I filed haven't even been responded to. I gave
Mr. Brooks, you're interrupting me yet again.
You just weren't speaking,
all right,
so I didn't
Mr.
interrupt.
Brooks, you are now going to be removed to the other courtroom.
I don't consent to that.
73 motorcycle. I'm gonna blow your mind. It's duct tape. Duct with a T at the end, not duck.
I have had a dozen or more interruptions. We'll be off the record while we do that. Thank you, everyone.
I don't agree to a stop. Well, I move for a motion to dismiss for being under duress and being coerced into a contract that I did not consent or agree to. I have a right to be present for trial.
All right, we are back on.
That's when he popped his shirt off.
As ours they were before. I need to make a record that at 8:42 Brooks on every we're able to see. System has been reset. The information I received was that all of a sudden the audio was only going through 2 speakers and not all of them. A simple reboot of technical issue resolved. That issue solely concerned the audio from the microphones in front of Mr. Brooks and the 2 room systems cooperating, and we were having difficulty in this courtroom hearing Mr. Brooks. I believe that issue has now been resolved. When I needed to take the break for the audio issue, I also was advised by the captain that Mr. Brooks was requesting medical attention and reporting a small cut to a finger as a result of when he was removed from this courtroom and taken to the other courtroom. I was further advised that there are no signs of blood, and that when asked, he refused to show his hands. At this time, I'm not going to pause the proceedings further for him to be seen by jail medical, but at an appropriate break, that will be done.
Oh man, he is losing it.
I did want to put on the record, and that is when we were testing the audio, I did advise the Sheriff's Department to let Mr. Brooks know, to ask him on my behalf if he wanted to come back into this courtroom. My understanding is he declined.
No, that is not accurate, Your Honor.
Mr. Brooks?
The reason...
Mr. Brooks?
I would just want to...
Hold on, I'm going to mute you for a second unless you stop and listen to me.
I just heard what you said, but I just...
I'm not asking for a response, sir. Mr. Brooks?
It's not.
Okay, you're interrupting. Hold on. You're interrupting me, sir. I wasn't looking for a response. I'm happy to ask you the question myself on the record for you to answer it. I will give you the opportunity to come back into this courtroom. You have demonstrated that you can make cogent, coherent, articulate arguments on the record. You just did that. You've been respectful for the time being. I will ask you, sir, do you want to come back into this courtroom? You've been unmuted to answer that question.
Not until I can receive medical treatment for the bruise that I have on my arm and the cut. You just said a while ago on the record that you cannot see blood. That's because I wiped it on my pants and you can still see the blood in the cut and a big bruise right here on my arm. I was told that the nurse would be coming in to see me, and then I was told, no, she's going to come at the next recess, which we just took. I know it was technical difficulties why you called the recess, but that was more than enough time for me to at least be seen, at least get the cut cleaned out and get it bandaged, at least at minimum that, and for somebody to look at this bruise. That was my position on why I was not yet ready to come back into the court, because I feel like this needs to be addressed.
All right, Mr. Brooks, I understand your request. I'm denying the request to take an adjournment, or I'm sorry, to take a break at this time.
No, I'm not asking for a break. I didn't ask for a break. I was just saying that at the time that there was the technical difficulty recess, before you even...
Dr. Gamble says, I've got a boo-boo. This trial must be put on hold. And Killjoy says, Your Honor, I object to calling this a recess. I did not see any swings or foursquare courts. Court would be better if there was foursquare. I'd go.
Even called that, Your Honor. I was told that a nurse was coming in at that time, but then when you called the recess for the technical difficulty, I was then told that I would have to wait until another recess to be able to be seen by the
perspective. A small cut and a bruise is not going to hold up the start of bringing the jurors in and advising them of the preliminary jury instructions.
He's just yelling.
No one can it will
hear
take me
him.
some time to read through the instructions. I don't know if that will take us to the...
Oh my God, he made a sign that says objection.
This case charges that Jarrell E. Brooks...
He's Wile E. Coyote!
...about Sunday, November 21 of 2021 on Main Street in the city of Waukesha, Waukesha County, Wisconsin, did recklessly endanger the safety of Sasha Catalan Castillo under circumstances which show utter disregard for human life and will...
Can we get this sign as an emote? Let me see if I can snip it. Oh shoot, I didn't mean to do that.
In the city of Waukesha, Waukesha County, Wisconsin.
Let me see how clean I can get it.
Contrary to sub B of the Wisconsin
He's gonna hold it at some point.
The 11th count of...
I should be able to grab that. Hold on. I'll work on that later and... Cool.
November 21 of 2021 on Main Street in the city of Waukesha, Waukesha County, Wisconsin, did recklessly endanger the safety of Sasha Catalan Castillo under circumstances which show utter disregard for human life and while using a dangerous weapon. Record to reflect that Mr. Brooks is back in the courtroom. I do want to make a further record that he still remains in his jail attire. Prior to the break, I did advise the captain and to let Mr. Brooks know that he certainly could take the opportunity during the lunch hour to put on street clothes. So it's his choice. He is here in the jail attire. He's at the table, continues to be masked. Welcome back, Mr. Brooks.
They never asked me during the break because I had so much other stuff going on. I'm not sure. I'm not saying it was intentional on their part, but I was never asked. I just want to make that clear for the record.
Thank you. I appreciate that clarification. Nonetheless, I provided you with that opportunity, and here you are. Please be mindful, sir, that the right to be here can, of course, be lost if you engage in disruptful, discourteous behavior, if you interrupt the decorum and do not show respect for the judicial proceedings. You would, of course, be subject to removal and forfeiting your right to be present in this courtroom. Consider whether that's being done for disruption. If you have an objection, write it down on a piece of paper, pass it to the bailiff, and I'll take it up outside the presence of the jury.
Just so I'm clear, are we talking about objections to strictly jury instructions or the filings that I filed on the 3rd?
I'm not addressing those at this point, sir.
I was just asking for clarification. I didn't know which one you were speaking on as far as the objections.
I'm talking about objections during this court hearing to the court going through the preliminary jury instructions.
Okay, I was just asking for clarification.
Right, I'm not addressing any of those filings. I previously addressed those. It may not be to your satisfaction, but...
Remember what you said, to be honest about those.
And I'm not gonna repeat myself. So, the record speaks for itself. Your objections in those filings, to the extent, whatever they are noted. They're part of the record. And they will be available for you at a later point in time should you be convicted and on appeal to make whatever arguments that you need to or want to regarding those. But from my perspective, that is something I'm not going to take up any further. And any attempt by you to do that, I will have to consider whether that's being done to disrupt the proceedings and not for legitimate reasons.
Reason for bringing it up was to make sure that they are offered into evidence.
Sir, we're not at the evidentiary phase. They're part of the record. They've been received. So at this point, there's no evidence to be taken.
New emotes in the Twitter DMs. Damn, you work quick. Okay, let me grab it real quick. Can you actually send it to the email I gave you? Because I don't think Twitter... Hold on, I didn't get it yet. Yeah, can you send it on email? Because I think Twitter takes PNGs and turns them into JPEGs. Like a proprietary JPEG format. Thank you, I appreciate it. Pretty sure I gave you that email, right? Yeah, Twitter changes the format to be like a proprietary Twitter like JPEG format. It's really weird. On the bright side, they do scrub the metadata from it for you, so that's nice. Where would you find a link to the Amazon wishlist? Right there. Woo! Just waiting for the email. Let me know when you email it, actually. We'll keep watching while we wait. Oh, it's been sent. And I just got it. Cool. I love it. Thank you. Let me see if that's already in Twitch format. Okay, do I have empty emote slots? How many points am I away from getting a new emote slot? I gotta get rid of one. Which one am I gonna get rid of? Yeah, I'll get rid of the CC hat one. Or CC cat ears. Could get rid of the Satan one, I guess. We've had that for a long time and it doesn't get used a lot. Yeah, we'll get rid of the Satan. There you go. All right, back to it.
It's not cited.
Oops, wrong one.
Not at that stage of the proceedings. So you will have an opportunity after the state presents their case in chief and they rest to then present your case and to present evidence that's relevant to the issues before the court and the jury. So I'm not going to go through any further on what that means. That would be for me to provide you with an explanation of the law or procedure, but I expect you to not bring that up at this point in time or going forward.
I don't understand, though, Your Honor.
Mr. Brooks, I've already addressed them. I'm going to bring the jury out. Please do not disrupt as the jury comes in and as I complete reading the preliminary instructions. I am, just for reference for everyone, I've read through 44 pages of 69, and
Nice.
So I still have a ways to go. My intention would be to finish with the preliminary jury instructions, take a short break for all, including the jurors, and then come back.
The placement of those barcode stickers on those computers annoys me a lot, and I don't know why.
With opening statements, and that's, you have a choice, sir, at that point, whether you want to give one, but the state goes first because they obviously have the burden of proof, and then you would have an opportunity to give an opening statement as well.
Does the judge have a Midwest accent? Don't we all, just go into the mire and,
But that's my plan, at least for the afternoon.
I would like to go back over there, Your Honor.
You would like to, you're asking that to voluntarily be taken to that courtroom.
I'm trying to seek to understand how the testimony evidence that was given could be
Mr.
considered
Brooks, I've already
evidence.
dealt with that. I'm not going to deal with it. If you want to go to that courtroom, are you waiving your right to be present right now?
Can I at least raise the issue of subject matter jurisdiction? That still
No,
has
there's
to-
no lawful motion before the court. You may not.
Are you making a judicial determination that I cannot?
Mr.
bring
Brooks,
up
I'm going to bring the jury out. I'd like you to stay. That's my preference that you stay. You've certainly demonstrated throughout these proceedings that you have the capacity to follow the rules, that you have the intellect to make cogent, coherent, articulate, responsive arguments when you so choose. But when you start doing what you're starting to do right now, going back to filings I've already addressed, and start talking about subject matter jurisdiction, that is a tactic by you that I believe is to disrupt and to delay the proceedings.
That is not accurate, Your Honor. I
Your objection to my characterization of that is noted.
I would like to make a motion for finding the fact then.
Your request is denied.
On what basis?
Your request is denied, sir.
Your Honor, I'm merely seeking to understand on what...
Mr. Brooks, I refer you once again to document 244 that you signed, that you acknowledged, dealing with the right to of waiver
waiver of right to attorney. We went through all of the advantages, the disadvantages. You were advised of things, including the charges that you face, the penalties that go along with them. We discussed the difficulty of representing yourself. You made a deliberate choice to waive your right to an attorney, which this court honored and granted. And you, Mr. Brooks, don't interrupt me. Okay, now that's at least the second time. So don't interrupt me. I'm going to continue with these proceedings. Even though you're mild-mannered, even though you're speaking in a soft tone of voice, the conduct still has the same effect. And that's to disrupt, to delay, and to show disrespect for the court proceedings.
H. Baird says, I cite the case of Because I Said versus So. Gnome Pickles, thanks for 8 months, says 8 months already, time really flies. Forrest Espion with 100 bits says, LOL, Hannah, Hannah, as a Mexican who's never left Southern California, I oddly find Midwestern accents to be strangely quaint. Like the people are less intimidating, like more chill folksy. So we're like the south of the Northwest to you.
It's not my
Mr.
intent.
Brooks,
It's not
please.
my intent.
I'm not going to force you to sit
the
down.
south of
You're
the south of the Northeast, the
welcome
south
to sit
of
down,
the Midwest.
but I am instructing the jury to come out. You, at your peril, run the risk of me admonishing you in front of them at this point. I don't want to do that, sir.
I'm seeking to merely understand.
Sir, I cannot give you legal advice. I cannot give you the understanding that you want.
I'm not
all right?
asking for legal advice.
I cannot explain court procedures or the law to you. So with that, Mr. Brooks, that's another interruption. You keep going. Stop.
I'm seeking merely to understand, Your Honor. I don't understand the nature and cause of the charges.
Mr. Brooks, I've already dealt with these.
I'm trying to bring up the subject matter
Mr. Brooks,
jurisdiction.
if you keep interrupting me, then you will forfeit your right to be present because you're showing through your conduct that you will not follow the most simplest rule of civility in a courtroom, and that's by not interrupting. You continue to interrupt. It's been a couple of minutes since we've been on the record, and there's been a number of times you've already interrupted me. You claiming to not understand and you wanting to discuss subject matter jurisdiction, do not, it's just a tactic by you. The fact that you are doing that demonstrates to me that you came back over here, right, with absolutely no intention of following the rules.
If that's what you want to say, that's your assessment. It's not accurate.
Well, my assessment will stand on the record, sir. It's based on my observations.
Oh God, I'm getting that thing again. Because no one raided, I don't think, but I'm getting all sorts of, like, followers. Is that thing going around Twitch again where fake accounts follow people, or did someone shout me out somewhere? Bots? I assume it's bots. That used to happen all the time. They must be doing it in smaller batches now. Gnome Pickles says, I don't understand the legal, you know. It might have been a good idea to keep those legal professionals who did know the law and the legal procedures to help you. You don't say. They never stopped? They just must have not made it around to me for a while. I hate the bots. They make it so hard to actually gauge your real growth. Hydrate.
Point, Mr. Brooks.
I respectfully object
Stop
to that.
interrupting me, please.
I merely
Stop
just seek
interrupting
to
me,
understand.
sir.
I'm not.
If you have an objection, write it down.
I thought that applied to me being.
It's applying right now since you keep interrupting me while I'm talking.
So what is the purpose of me being present if I'm not able to ask simple questions that I do not understand? I'm
Mr.
just
Brooks,
seeking.
I've been
I'm not
more
asking for
than
legal
patient
advice.
with you. And the issues that you keep trying to raise every time we're in here are not issues I'm going to raise at this juncture or address at this juncture in the proceedings.
Is there
All right?
a reason
I'm not giving you advice. I'm not explaining the law. I don't need to do any of that, sir. All right?
You filed what you needed to file. I've addressed every single filing on the record. It may not be to your satisfaction, but I have addressed them.
That's inaccurate,
all right?
Your Honor.
Some of your
With all
filings,
respect.
sir, you're interrupting me yet again because you're not letting me finish with my explanation.
What'd this guy do? Killed 6 people.
Of your filings do not require a specific line-by-line response by the court. I've addressed them in the way that I believe the law requires me to do. Again, that may not be to your satisfaction, and that is simply the way that it's going to be. But we are continuing on with the reading of jury instructions. It's important. They're going to come in, and it will be up to you whether you can demonstrate respect and courtesy, not only for these proceedings, but for the jurors that have been selected to hear this case. Madam Clerk, have the jurors brought in, please.
What you're doing is judicial misconduct. You're making the judicial determination, and I'm not allowed to ask questions, and I'm not allowed to question Your Honor, which is my right. I've merely brought up subject matter jurisdiction because it has merit. I've merely tried to seek to understand the proceedings that I do not understand. You're rushing me to judgment by constantly removing me from the court when I should be present for all proceedings, and I should be able to understand, which I do not. Once again, I do not understand the charges, the nature of the charges against me. I do not understand why Your Honor will not answer mere questions that would give me clarification on understanding. I'm not attempting purposely to be disruptive, disrespectful in any manner. But if I don't understand something, it benefits me to ask so that I can have clarity. The waiver that you speak of with the attorney, I gave the waiver back in the way that I felt that it should be altered, and you said so yourself on the record that the word understanding was taken off of that paperwork that I sent back to you. That should have let you know right there further that I did not understand the proceedings, and that was some of the issues that I'm bringing up now. It's merely just clarification, Your Honor. I don't understand what is going on. It's not to be disrespectful. It is not
Mr.
to
Brooks,
prolong the proceedings.
do you understand when I tell you not to interrupt me?
No,
do you
I do
understand
not.
when I tell you need to follow the rules of decorum? I believe you do. Please sit down. The jury's coming in.
I still would like to
Mr.
ask
Brooks?
questions, Your Honor.
Stop talking. We are proceeding with the continued advisement to the jury court.
Notice that
Here's where he accuses a juror of flipping him off.
one of the jurors, the lady in the black that's closest to the screen in that corner chair over there, I recognize her from my initial appearance. She flipped me off coming in to my initial appearance and coming out. I know it's her for a fact. I seen her about like how I'm looking at you right now, so I know for a fact that's her. I don't want that to end up being an issue. Is this some type of way that could be addressed by Your Honor?
Mr. Brooks, you had an opportunity to exercise preemptory strikes and even to question jurors about that. You chose not to. So at this point, any issue you have with that juror is waived.
Okay, you do remember that I was not present in the courtroom. I couldn't see. All I can see from that courtroom in there is just you, Your Honor, and the prosecution's table. I can't even see the bailiffs. So it was no way for me to even see who the jury was. Obviously, I wouldn't know them by name.
Don't these idiots get a backup lawyer to ask legal questions? They can be assigned backup counsel, but they don't have to be, and I don't believe he was.
If I would have been able to see...
Or standby counsel, rather, not backup.
The jurors, I would have immediately addressed that.
I will make this one indulgence. I'll have the civilian bailiff ask that juror if she was in attendance at your initial appearance out of an abundance of caution. These are jurors, though, who with the jury questionnaires were also asked what knowledge they had about proceedings they watched or even attended. And no one, to my knowledge, has disclosed anything like that, but out of an abundance of caution, we will ask that juror if she was in attendance at your initial appearance. So for now, that's how I'll address it. I'll advise you of what her answer is later. Do you know the number of the jurors, sir? They have numbers.
I just know that I can't see the number from here. I just know the chair she was sitting in.
Which chair, sir? Top row or the top row or the bottom row?
The bottom row, the last black chair. Black shirt. She had the black shirt.
They're all black chairs, sir. So
the last black chair closest to the television.
Thank you, sir, because there are two sides, right? So it's the last chair on both sides. So I wanted to make clear. You're saying the chair closest to the television. Thank you.
I said that at the beginning, Your Honor.
Front row. All right. State have copies of the filings?
Yes.
I will take these in order. The first is a note from Mr. Brooks that was handed to Deputy Wittig at about 12:05. It says, I would like my filings addressed, parenthesis, notice of special appearance, statement of particulars, both are by affidavit, filed 10/3/22, which today is deadline to respond. Thank you, Mr. Brooks. I'm respectfully declining to respond to those filings. That's my decision, sir. Next.
Are you making a judicial determination that
yeah, she's a judge.
Mr. Brooks, I have indicated to you on the record what I will or will not do.
I would like to motion for finding a fact.
Your request is denied. The next.
May Your Honor explain why.
Mr. Brooks, I'm going to go through these one by one. If I feel the need to make more of a record, I will do so. The record will be available later on. If you think I've made an error, you can then raise that on appeal.
She's a judge. He's fucked. True. And so is Marcel. If you missed it, Marcel got arrested. Hooray. Let me actually Google if any news
Mr.
stories
Brooks,
have
I'm not going to have a debate with you right now. We are continuing on. I'm giving you the courtesy to respond to each one of these things. That's how I've responded. I expect that you will, even if you disagree with my decision, sir, that you will respect it and we'll move forward. The next piece of paper filed at 1:52 p.m. says, are you making a judicial determination? I'm not allowing my right under the First Amendment to freedom of speech in this courtroom. Mr. Brooks, we have rules of decorum and courtesy. They have been provided to you multiple times. They are part of the materials that you have before you.
Yeah, I think this is still ongoing.
They fall under the First Amendment.
SCR Chapter 62.
And you're making a judicial determination to not honor my constitutional right. I just want to be treated fairly, like anyone else, which you said on the record that you will be fair and impartial.
Mr. Brooks, you also have an obligation to treat this court fairly, and you have an obligation to follow the rules of courtesy and decorum, the rules of procedure, the rules of evidence.
Your Honor,
that's the playing field that you willingly entered into and made a deliberate decision to waive your right to an attorney and to appear in this case as your own attorney.
To represent myself pro per.
Ender 92 says, my best chance for leniency is to annoy and piss off the one person who holds my fate in their hands. How dumb do you have to be, right?
The same paperwork that you gave me, you have, and I also have a copy of the same one where I scratched out what I did not agree or consent to. We both know that, Your Honor.
Mr. Brooks, I made findings regarding that, and those findings stand. That despite you scratching out some of those words on there, I made very specific findings about your waiver of right to an attorney. So we're not going to relitigate that here right now.
You also accepted the terms of the paperwork that I
Mr.
filed out.
Brooks, I'm not going to engage with you about whether you and I have entered into some type of a contract.
We did not.
Or engage in any type of that kind of dialogue, because that's what you're claiming through some of these filings, and you've said that previously.
I am not claiming that, Your Honor.
So,
in any way,
Mr.
shape,
Brooks,
or form,
I'm giving you some
any
leeway.
contract.
You continue to talk over me. It's I'm asking you to follow the rules of civility. Simple rules, sir. Don't interrupt me.
Did I not just let you read the whole jury instructions and follow the rules that you said I have to write down?
You did.
Anything that I object to and then hand it in.
Except now that we're discussing them, it seems to me that the rules don't quite matter to you, sir.
No, that is not what's being asserted on my
Here's what's
end.
happening, sir. I'm telling you, I'm advising you to respect the rules.
Dreadhead says, I see them saying a man who is his own lawyer as a fool for a client holds up. H-Bird says, my headcanon is that he reads a lot of pickup artist websites and figures the judge is a woman, and women will like him if he's a douche to them, thus the defense we've seen. That's the most likely explanation.
I'm advising you that if you continue to interrupt, you risk forfeiting your right to be present in this courtroom.
Are you?
Because I still need to continue with these proceedings, sir. I need to go through all of the documents that you filed, and you're not letting me do that.
Because we didn't
So
get
I'm
past
gonna,
the
if I
issue.
need to, I'll remove you to the other courtroom so that I can do this. And yes, exercise the mute button, sir. And then I'll bring you back when the jury's back.
This was filed.
Oh my god, it looks like just something he hand wrote on a piece of white printer paper. That's definitely not an official filing form.
So, Your Honor,
oh god.
Mr. Brooks is clearly not following the simple rule of civility that I have established. He continues to interrupt. He's not providing this court with ability to make rulings on the record without interruption. So this is your final warning, or you will be removed to the other courtroom.
Will Your Honor honor my First Amendment right?
I'm not answering that question, sir, because I've already addressed it.
So you're making a judicial determination to deprive me of my constitutional
I am not
right.
making any such determination, sir.
So you just said you're not going to answer the question about my First Amendment right, which says
Sir,
that
I've
I have
already
freedom of
answered the
speech.
question that you have a right to present a defense.
That is the
You have a
Sixth
right
Amendment,
to
not
be
the First.
present.
You're trying to twist
You
up the
have
amendments.
a right to present your defense, but your rights are not unfettered.
Yes, they
Your
are,
rights,
Your Honor. You're citing the Sixth Amendment, which I am not
Mr. Brooks,
questioning.
your First Amendment in some respects is circumscribed by the rules of evidence and the rules of procedure.
Does it say that I have
So it doesn't
freedom of
mean you
speech?
get to say anything that you want in
No,
front of
I'm-
a jury.
Your
And it
Honor.
doesn't mean you get to put forth any kind of evidence that you want
Your
in front
Honor,
of a
am
jury.
I
What
being-
it means, sir,
am
is
I being
that you
disrespectul?
must
Am I
follow.
calling you
Yes,
out
you're
your
being
name? Am I threatening
disrespectful because
anybody?
you're
I'm
not.
not doing anything of the sort.
All right, he is continuously talking over me. So at this point, I'm going to find that he's forfeited his right to be
I have
present
not
as I
forfeited
go
my right,
through
Your Honor. I have
his
not consented to any. I'm
his
simply trying to
paperwork. He's to be
understand
removed to the other courtroom
I'm
until
simply
such
trying to
time as he
understand
can pledge to
why we're
follow
not
the
talking
rules
about
of
the First
decorum and
Amendment. I'm not
civility.
talking about the
We'll be
Sixth
in
Amendment.
recess until we have
Your
everything
Honor, I do
set
not
up.
agree to it.
The record to reflect, I'm stepping off.
Oh my god, this guy is insufferable. Alright, I think we watched enough of that guy for the day. We'll keep an eye on that as that case continues to go on. I'd imagine the ruling is going to be interesting, but let's look at some other peeps, shall we?
Speed limit's only 50 and I had you at 62.
62? I was doing like, alright, I'm not going to argue with you, but I mean, I wasn't going, I know I wasn't speeding, but...
Yeah, we were talking about it coming down the road.
Because people, we were just talking about
us.
normally people are flying like 80 down this road every day. And we were talking about how people always flying past us and stuff. That's originally why I looked back, because I saw somebody riding my butt and I was just like, pass me, dude. Like, why? And then the person in front of me was like,
I saw that the other van had passed you back at the light.
That's what I was saying. That's why I was like, just keep passing me, because all day people, because I'm so used to just people riding my butt past me doing like 80 down this road. But we were just going to the church to grab some food. Like, I don't even, the St. James Church right there on St. Paul or whatever. Yeah, St.
Okay.
So
what was going on with your license?
Oh, I just don't have one.
You just don't have one?
Yeah.
All right, case closed. We got him.
Like, I never signed up with the DMV to get one. Like, because like it's no, you just don't. If you sign up with it, then you gotta like play by their rules and do all that stuff. If you never sign up for it, you're allowed to just like use the road to run errands and stuff.
I mean,
false. That is false.
That's not how it works.
Yeah, it is exactly how it works. But
you should carry that court paper with you.
Yeah.
Do you have any ID on you?
I do have an ID. Yeah.
Okay. Can I get that from you?
Yeah. But I mean, I've gone to court for this several times, like being pulled over and not having a license and stuff, and I've beaten it in court multiple times. I have documents I can show you. The Supreme Court has ruled over and over and over again that you actually don't need a license to drive. It's not a privilege, it's a right that every citizen has. It's when you sign up for the MVA, you're waiving that right and asking to be placed under their jurisdiction. I don't have a contract with the MVA, so I don't have to carry a license. No, it's not Maryland.
All right, well, I'm not going to argue
Can you
with
call
it.
your supervisor out here? Because I've dealt with this in Maryland all the time.
Well,
I've been pulled over by other Anne Arundel County police officers.
Can I speak?
Yeah, go ahead.
What's going to happen is I'm going to call a supervisor, and they're going to say, if you want to talk to them, you can call the station. I can give you the phone number of the station that you can talk to the supervisor. Driving without a license is 60 days in jail up to a $500 fine. But
that's if you have a contract with the MVA. I live right here on Jewel Road. I'm like
228 Jewel?
Yeah, I'm like 10.
He just said drive. He admitted. Ender 92 says officer, I didn't need one, but even if I wanted one, I couldn't get one because of all the DUIs.
Feet from my house.
Do you have a license, ma'am?
I do.
Yeah, and she's not driving because she's been like, she has a cane and she's disabled and her medicine's been making her shaky lately, and I was just running her to the church to get food because we're poor and we don't have jobs to go to, so we were literally just going to get food from the church and going right back home. Like I was,
Miss Eversfield, are you going to be able to drive out of here?
I can drive out.
Okay.
I can drive, I just can't stand.
Okay, because if you're not able to drive, you guys are going to have to call somebody because Michael's not going to be able to drive out of here without a license. So
can I get your information? Because I'm going to file a complaint against you. Because I can show you the documents on my phone right now. I've literally been to court for this in Anne Arundel County and in Baltimore County, and they have dismissed it every single time.
Okay.
You need to be educated on, no, this is Anne Arundel County. We're in Anne Arundel County right now.
We are in Anne Arundel County.
Yes, we are. And I've been to court for this in Anne Arundel County, and they dismissed it because you do not need a driver's license to travel on the public roadway in your personal property. I can show you the Supreme Court cases.
Well, we're not going to argue.
H. Baird says, I claim squatters' rights over the entirety of the U.S. road systems. Therefore, I'm on my own property and don't need a license. Checkmate state and federal law. Brilliant. Brilliant.
No, you need to be educated on this.
Yeah, the cop probably just didn't show up.
So everybody, I don't know what this guy's name was, but it's Corporal something or other, saying that I can't drive back to my house. Oh, is it on the, it's on the...
Dr. Gamble says, I've been to court for this. Cop. Oh, so you're a repeat offender.
It's on, oh, it was on the wrong facing camera side the whole time. Well, that's okay, I got the audio of it all.
Okay, he's got my registration, so I can't go. He told me I was going to have to drive home, so...
That's fine. He'll give me a ticket for operating a vehicle without a license, and we'll go to court, and it'll get dismissed. But the point is he's now making a disabled person drive after I told him that you were already under medication.
It's not his fault you broke the law. I'm guessing she doesn't have a license either. I'm surprised the cop didn't ask.
To that you couldn't drive. So we'll switch vehicle positions under threat of arrest.
Stay in the car.
I'm switching sides with her.
Nope, stay in the car right now. I didn't tell you to get out.
You
Stay
said
in the
to
car.
switch sides with her
I didn't
so
say
she
that.
could drive. You did.
I said if she's got a valid license, she can
does.
drive. Stay in the car.
Am I being detained?
Oh, she did? I missed that, sorry.
Stay in the car.
Am I being detained?
You're being detained on a traffic stop right now.
Okay.
Stay in the car.
That's all I want.
That cop looks weirdly like Andrew Tate.
Am I being detained?
You're being detained on a...
You can just catch him kind of in the mirror. He looks like Andrew Tate to me. I think it's the beard. This is some artistic shot right here. You just see the cop through the windshield, or through the rear view.
Traffic stop right now.
Okay.
Stay in the car.
That's all I wanted to know. So I'm being detained for a traffic stop now, and he won't let my mother now switch vehicles. Do you have Facebook?
Sides.
Get on Facebook Live. Go on Facebook Live. Just
I don't know how to do that.
give me your phone.
I guess you just...
Unlock it. Go to Facebook. And go live. Go live. And now, and tell them, say we're being stopped.
We've been stopped.
Hold on, not yet. Let me see. Starting live video. Okay, we're waiting for it to start. So now we're waiting for, because we're going to go live here, because now it looks like he's probably going to try to arrest me, which is great because I'm on probation. So that's going to violate my probation.
That's not the cop's fault, man! Come on! Commit one crime at a time.
Is this...
And don't commit any crimes when you're on probation.
It will be soon.
Starting video, but it hasn't started yet. Oh, tap.
No. That's to stop it. It's starting the live video. Don't press that or it'll stop it.
But it says tap to...
No, that was the thing to start. To start it. Just leave it alone. Okay, just leave it alone.
Gnome Pickles says, so wait, you were cleared and you're on probation, so which was it? Protein shake? He was cleared in the sense that he got to go home. Ender92 says, this man has buried the lead like 3 separate times. It keeps getting better and better.
But so now he's probably... That's what I'm saying. Just... And I want to wait for yours to start so that way...
I like that they just have fresh baked supermarket cookies right there for the grabbing.
I can pull up the documents on my phone to show him. Because this is exactly what happens to people. They get combative because they think that they know everything because they've been taught the wrong things.
Right.
And like I'm literally taking my disabled mother, you know, to the church to get food. And he's like, you know, being Mr. Hardass about it. I'm a disabled vet.
Excuse me. My
Here, look, well, if he tries to arrest me, this is already recording. Don't touch anything on it.
And he's got me stopped.
And it's on the wrong facing camera. I mean, it's on the back facing camera. So, like... Facebook Live and start streaming stuff. You know what? Here, I'm just going to start videoing it. How do you get this to go away? Just start, just stop. I got it.
Oh! Tommy does not like the way you treat me.
Well, I don't like the way you treat me.
I don't like the way you treat me.
Feel a little uncomfortable now? Oh, did he? I didn't hear her. Jesus fuck, I hope not.
How do you get it to do the front-facing camera?
Turn it around.
I close it, will it? Okay, that's what I want. From the house to the church, you know, it's just a couple miles.
It doesn't, like, I get it. I really do. This sucks, and I feel for these people. They clearly, you know, need a hand. They need help. They need public transportation. They need, you know, availability of, like, cheap or available food. Like, I totally get it. I understand that society has failed them, but unfortunately, people under great anxiety, and when they're not in the best position in life, are more prone to conspiracy thinking, and I think that's what's happened here.
Back from the church getting...
MH Darkbeast says, so Hannah, are you up to date on Quantum Leap? If so, what are your thoughts on the new consent thing in the new series has introduced, and how it really makes no sense, especially when Sam would leap into bad people? As a general thought, I like it, because honestly, the concept of Quantum Leap is kind of scary if you think about it. Some random guy from the future does a body snatchers on you, and if there isn't consent involved, it's kind of iffy. In terms of, like, the bad people he's leapt into, I can handwave that. That's fine.
Groceries, and I'm driving without a license because, you know, as far as I know and have been told, the Supreme Court said that it's okay to drive without a license. You know, I've been to court for it a few times, and they've always dismissed it. And the trooper pulled me over, and I told him all that. And he's, you know, threatened to arrest, say it's 60 days in jail. And I said, well, you know, it's not, you know, whatever. And we got a little argument. And then he went back to his vehicle, and so we went to switch drivers, and he said to get back in the vehicle, and he got out and, you know, got his hand on his gun and was yelling at me to get back in the vehicle and stuff. And I told him that we were just switching places so we can drive the, like, half a mile back to the house. We're like we're literally like a half a mile from the house now. And, you know, he's being super dick about letting us drive the half a mile back to the house because I don't have a license. You know, I don't have a contract with the MVA, and as far as I've been educated, the Supreme Court has said, you know, as long as you don't sign and waive that right away.
Incorrect. That's not a thing.
Under the Fourth Amendment.
73 Motorcycle Modem, thanks for gifting us up.
From, you know, I have the freedom to travel in my vehicle. You know, this isn't my vehicle, it's my mother's private vehicle, but, you know, I'm driving her because for the past week or so, she's been not feeling good and having dizzy spells and not walking very well and stuff, so still recording.
No, it stops when you close it.
I thought that's what you said, to put it on the front video to close it.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay, all right, well, so I guess I just got to turn it around and do all that again? Okay, well, the audio on my camera, I guess, still picked all that up.
Okay.
But to explain it, so here's another trooper.
Here he comes.
All right, well, here, my phone's videoing, so
Okay.
I'm going to apologize. Hey, man, I wasn't really trying to get, you know, confrontational with you. I've just been through this a bunch of times already, and as far as I've been educated, what I'm doing,
you're wrong,
you know, isn't wrong. So
well, it is wrong, because in the United States, in order to drive, it is a privilege to drive, and actually your license in the state of Maryland is suspended.
Ooh, it's not even just he doesn't have one, it's suspended. That's not good.
It's expired. I never went down and renewed it. I did the research on my license, and when I was still holding a valid license, it had been suspended. And then it expired, like, the card I had said that my license expired.
It still remains suspended.
Like, I don't even know, a long time ago. Like, at least 2 years ago, I know. And I never went and renewed it. And then I was, you know, educated that, you know, driving without a license is only a crime, quote unquote, if you have a contract with the MVA and then you do something to, you know, violate that contract, then they can suspend your license. And then if you you know, get caught driving, then it's like you're doing something, you know, against something that you promised you wouldn't do. But I never signed that contract. I never promised the MVA. But see, that's where our education differs. Because I've seen documents and I've talked to lawyers and I've
It's where
been to
our
court
education differs, sir.
and they've all said that the Supreme Court says that driving is not a privilege that can be revoked. It is a right under the Fourth Amendment.
No.
Under the Constitution of Liberty, you have the right to move.
Ender 92 says, but he does by his own logic. He had a license. He signed the contract by his own admission. You are correct.
Move about in your private vehicle conducting personal business.
I assume he thinks that when his license expired, whatever that theoretical contract was, I assume he thinks it was broken at that time.
Alright, so we're not going to argue this roadside, but here's what I'm going to tell you.
Can you just let me go home and I won't, like...
Look, I could take you out of the car right now, put you in handcuffs, and arrest you for driving on a suspended license, okay? I understand that you're talking all these privileges, Fourth Amendment, sovereign citizen,
I'm not
whatever.
a sovereign citizen.
All right, well,
that has nothing to do with sovereign citizen. I'm following your laws by doing
You're not following, you're driving along the roadway, you were speeding, you have a suspended license, you're not...
Is there a part 2? Or is that it? This was right after he got pulled over.
Alright, so I just got pulled over driving my mom home from picking up food from the food giveaway at the local church. It's like less than 5 miles away. On the way home, he got pulled over for allegedly speeding. And hilarity ensued. I wanted to make this video while it was fresh in my mind. The cop let me go, but it said I was driving on a suspended license, even though my license has been expired for quite some time.
It's still suspended! That doesn't mean it's not! You have to take steps to get your license unsuspended. Even if it's expired, you still have to take those steps.
He said he could pull me out of the vehicle and arrest me.
Like, my mom, for instance, who I'm no longer in communication with, she had her license suspended for multiple instances of getting caught drunk driving. Real winner. Anyway, in order to get, like, it unsuspended, regardless of whether or not it was expired, if she was caught driving, which she did drive even though it was suspended, by the way, fun fact, she, even if it expired, she would still be considered suspended. You need to take steps to get it unsuspended. Gnome Pickle says, somehow he looks exactly the way I thought he would. That's a little mean. I don't judge people based on their looks. His looks have nothing to do with the fact that he's wrong.
But they eventually let me go. Gave me a ticket for driving a motor vehicle on the highway or public use property on suspended license. Driving, but I don't have a license. It's not suspended, it's expired. Driving while license suspended. Fail to attend dip. I don't know what that is, but again, my license isn't suspended, it's expired. Driving, attempted to drive motor vehicle on highway without required license and authorization. Again, Fourth Amendment, you know, says that I don't have to have a license to drive, and I don't have a contract with the MVA currently. It has expired, but whenever they pull me over, they like to say that it's suspended, you know, because it had gotten suspended and then it expired. But it has to be suspended for them to give me these tickets, you know. If it's expired, they couldn't give me the tickets, but you know, that's why they always say it's suspended, even though it has long since expired. I think my Virginia license expired in 2013, so my Maryland license I know can't be valid. Still, it's had to have expired by now.
I am subscribing to this guy, because holy crap, he's gonna be good in the future, I guarantee it. Alright, let me save these extra ones that I know I can use for later, and we're gonna call it an evening. Jack is doing a stream right now that I was supposed to get to, but some stuff came up, so I couldn't make it tonight. So we're gonna do a raid. Everyone stick around and all that stuff. Tell her I said sorry I couldn't make it. Alright. Oh, shoot. We started the stream early today, so it's the same length, more or less. I will be back tomorrow, guys. I'll see you guys, gals, and non-binary pals then. See you later. Adios.